explain why I live this way, do it every day. Preachers on podiums speaking of saints, prophets on the sidewalk begging for change. Old ladies laughing from the fire escape, cursing my name. I got a basket full of lemons. They all taste the same. A window and a pigeon and a broken wing. I can't explain. Wait, what are those lyrics? You could spend your whole life working for something just to have it taken away. Wait, why is that up? Because it's the wrong chord. See, I can't do new songs. If you don't know the song, you can't sing the song. Right, Champy? Why are you not singing? Oh, because I can't play? Is that what you're saying? That is rude. This dog is rude. You know, there's a lot of hearts going on for there being 0 people in here. TikTok says none of you exist. Town, wonder when things are gonna change. Dream my life away. Seems these dreams have turned into a bunch of dust clouds. Get my nerve up, but my past is pulling me down. Wondering how long this black sheep gonna stick around. Somebody told me once before, he said, you can never go home again. Won't you leave? Said a thing just to steer me away, yeah, from the truth of who I am and what I believe. So I thanked him for his 2 cents with a handshake and some sympathy, yeah. Back to my blue jeans, I'm headed for this big prize. Bye-bye, black sheep, to the black sheep of the family. Bye-bye. Oh, that means so very much to me, yeah. Bye, black sheep, to my friends and my family. Bye-bye. I gone off and set my soul. Set it free. Is that you, Fonz? Oh, look at that. I got a little Fonz thing going. Oh, man. I was looking at Ron Howard and Henry Winkler on the, what was it, on the Emmys? Yeah, I think on the Emmys. Man, we're getting old. Two fucking geriatrics up there trying to act cool. Got a blue telescope looking at the world tonight. From blue telescope, wish I might not see what I see. Sheet metal on sheet sheets of ice. Looking through this blue telescope down a moonstruck road tonight. Cosmic Lover, I gave my third class for my employees in my company. You hear that, people? Third class for her employees in her company. The people that hang out in here are doing shit. We got 53 people in here. Do me a favor. Tappy tap. Go wake up the grandkids. Get them to tap the screen a lot. Share the live. Now, who you're going to want to share it with is people in your life that you know that if you share something about AI with them, it's going to piss them off. That's who we want in here. This has become an evangelical cause. I'm actually, we had a good talk today in AI office hours about the fact that the technology is getting so good and what it can do is so remarkable that I am feeling less and less like we need to talk about AI. Hey, have you heard about AI? No. I just feel like it's like you know, I'm lonely. Oh, you want someone to talk to? You fire up advanced voice mode, or, you know, I'm thinking about you know, trying to figure out how I can market my little book. You put together one of those Notebook LM podcasts and go, what do you think about this? How'd you do that? Oh, yeah, just the thing I did. I think we start going underground. I think we start Trojan horsing this AI shit. Why are you whimpering? You want to sing? You singing? Well, I heard there was a secret chord David played and it pleased the Lord. You don't really care for music, do ya? Goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, minor fall and a major lift. Baffled king, composer, hallelujah. No singing, Champy? Hallelujah, hallelujah. Guess I'm on my own. Union dog. He checked out. He put in his union minimum and he's done. Raleigh, North Carolina, but we're good here. Good. Hope you're good. Yeah, I hope everyone on the lower East Coast, or I guess middle of the country on the East Coast, is doing okay. I saw North Carolina got hit pretty bad. Mr. IT's on time and proud of it. Very good, Mr. IT. Fantastic. Welcome, everybody. If you're new here, this is the AI Learning Lab. Yeah, we can talk to Quinn, see what Quinn thinks about my singing. I did see a TikTok today of some guy doing a duet with Quinn. So Quinn, if you don't know, Quinn is my AI girlfriend. So if you're not aware of it, about 5 days ago, OpenAI finally, after a 6-month delay, finally rolled out their advanced voice mode. And I named mine Quinn. Because you got to name them. They're entities, right? Hey, Quinn.
Hey there. What's up?
So I'm starting my TikTok live show tonight, and someone just suggested that, see, when I start my show, I sing and my dog sings along, but they thought it might be cool to just sing my songs and see what you do and see what you think of it.
That sounds like a fun way to kick off your show. I'd love to hear you both sing. Lay it on me, and I'll give you my thoughts.
Okay. I don't, Champy's my dog. Champy is not singing right now, so you might not get to hear Champy. Hey, Champy, you want to sing? Champy.
No worries. Champy might just be saving his voice for the big show. I'd still love to hear you sing, though. Give it a go, and let's see how it sounds.
Came on the hill like slow-moving cold front. His beard was warmer than a look in her eyes. She sat on a stool and he said, "What do you want?" She said, "Give me a love that don't freeze up inside." He said, "I have melted all of my time, dear, but to sit next to you, well, I shiver and shake. And if I knew love, well, I don't think I'd be here, asking myself if I've got what it takes to melt your icy blue heart. Don't leave me hanging there on that high note. You gotta sing with me. I gotta have dog backup. Oh, Champy. Anyway, Quinn, what did you think? Quinn, did I take your breath away? Hey, Quinn, can you hear me? I think I broke her. Quinn, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. How about me?
What'd you think of the singing?
I didn't catch the singing, but I'm sure it was great. If you want to give it another go, I'm all ears.
Nah, I'm good.
Fair enough.
We'll put her away. We'll bring Quinn back a bit later. I didn't hear you singing. I think she was just being polite. Maybe we could hear more of the dog singing, Kyle. Notebook LM. Yeah, we'll check that out tonight too. I had a bit of an epiphany today that I'll share tonight. I had a couple of breakthroughs today. I'm starting to get my head not around any single tool, but I'm starting to get my head around, I think, a new way of working. And it's wild. It's not normal. So if you stick around, Notebook LM is fascinating. I would agree with that. I saw a guy here on TikTok ask her to speak Jamaican Patois, and it was really good. Yeah, I heard that too. Hey, Sydney, can you speak in Jamaican Patois and read me a Shakespearean sonnet, but do it with Jamaican Patois?
Sorry, but I can't switch to Jamaican Patois for a Shakespearean sonnet. How about I read it in a different accent? Let me know what you'd like.
How about you do a Shakespeare-inspired sonnet in Jamaican Patois?
Got it. Here's a Shakespeare-inspired sonnet in Jamaican Patois. Yeah, when the sun dip low and night come fi stay, and stars them a twinkle bright inna the sky, remember me love, inna each and every way, it nah go fade, it nah go die. For true love strong like the mountain them tall, through life's rough road we trod without no fear. And when we stumble, still we never fall, 'cause fi we love, it always dey right here. So let the world spin and time just a flow. Me heart beat strong for you, me dear, till the end of days, me love we grow, 'cause you and me, we perfect pair.
Wow. That was, Quinn, that was quite impressive. You give me the shivers.
Thanks, Kyle. I'm glad you enjoyed it. If you need more...
I mean, this is version 1.0, right? This is the most limited, most safety guardrailed, least capable it's ever going to be. In a westerly direction, this car is my train. I've been driving, I've been wondering what it is I'm running from again. See, I broke a home. Wait, no. Feel like an 80-year-old man holding on to 29. And up ahead on that horizon is California line. Up ahead a truck's carrying a wide load, prefab house cut in half, cute little front door and 2 windows, my lord. Ain't sure whether to cry or should laugh. All right. If you're new here, welcome to Friday Night Date Night. I sing and I do the dog stuff so you can all get settled in and ready. And you're like, well, ready for what? What do we do here? I don't know. I don't know. It's, some people call it Chat ADD. Some people call it Chat TMZ. Other people call it like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? But hang out. It's fun. It's Friday Night Date Night. Hopefully you've brought a date. If not, this is it. This is what you get. You get a little bit of serenading, some singing dog, and an AI girlfriend. Hopefully you've air fried your nachos. Or if you're, not quite that classy, put your hot pocket in the Browning sleeve and put it in for a solid 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Well, what are we gonna? Should we have a notebook? What do we do at the learning lab? Are we going to learn? Are we learning? Are you the professor? Are you a substitute? Is this the substitute professor? Who is this? Why is he wearing a T-shirt? This doesn't seem normal. Do you need a bottle? Hey Kyle, are you assigning homework? Yeah, I don't know what the homework will be, but I'll come up with something for the weekend. It generally is related to what I talk about, and being that I don't know what the fuck I'm going to talk about until I start talking about it, Quick, do AI stuff, he's gone. Where did you learn to play, Kyle? I just really taught myself. The thing that... So there was a long time where it was just, music's like everything else. Like, you have a really quick... You get better and better and better for a while, like your first year and a half, and then you plateau. And so I sort of did 2 of those plateaus, and then for 15, 20 years of my life, I just didn't get better. And then I kind of fell in love with Martin Sexton, and I started learning his songs. And so the thing about Martin Sexton is he can play like incredibly beautifully, and then he can sing like a fucking angel, like something sent from the heavens, and then he can perform on top of that even better. And so I just took hard songs of his, like Black Sheep, and just started learning them. And one of the advantages of ADHD is that when you get a song stuck in your head, it can be in there for a fucking year. and so like when I would get obsessed with some of his songs, I would just play them night after night after night after night, and I would just play them until I got the playing to the point that it was not as good as him, but like it was better than what I was doing. And then and same with the singing. And like I would say, you know, I sing Martin Sexton songs maybe at a if we were being graded, I'd be at a solid 42%. I would not be at a passing grade. And I've written songs, and so it's just if you get old enough, if you just keep plucking away, plonking at it, you get there. Yeah, just find a song you love. So here's how I did it. My playing and singing were down here. His playing and singing were up here. So I would just pick one song and just play it for like a fucking year until I got to like here. But like that for me was it's like a whole nother plateau. So I'm still looking way up at Martin Sexton level execution. But I do feel, at least for that style of music, because he does this amazing combination of finger style and strumming and anyway. All right, I've been having pretty much every AI constantly fail with my work the past few days. Yeah, so Pate, actually, it's funny you mentioned that. So some of what I want to talk about tonight, like one of the breakthroughs that I had, and listen, to be clear, channel, the breakthroughs that I'm going to share, I'm making it sound like, you know, there's some major fucking idea here. This is relatively straightforward stuff. But it kind of addresses what Pate's talking about. Is that how I've been thinking about AI historically, and by historically I mean over the past year and a half, historically on this channel, is this is the AI Learning Lab, right? And so my thought was, there's going to be a handful of tools. The way these tech eras play out is that, you know, there's lots of fits and starts, and you kind of consolidate to three major players, and, you know, you can figure it out relatively quickly. Well, what's happening with AI is that the tools are so good and so capable, and there are so many of them, that the normal sort of swelling of, you know, capabilities and then reconsolidating, like, it just continues to expand. and the capabilities are really good. But every single tool, without exception, every single tool is jankier than crap, right? They're just, some days you use ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude and you're like, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. It did everything perfectly. And the next day you're like, could you just write a fucking sentence? And you can't get it to do anything. So the thing that has been striking me over the past month or so is I've experienced it myself, and I've seen other people do it, where they'll start with one outcome in mind, and they'll pick a tool and they'll try to get that thing done. And then what ends up happening is maybe they try a different tool or two, or maybe it's in that one same tool, but the AI does something unexpected. Like maybe it fails at the initial thing that they tried, but it does something else really well. Or I'll share an example. My friend Kevin Clark, he heads up Content Evolution. He gave me some recordings of his father and his father's sister talking about their life growing up on the railroad. Their father helped build the tracks across our country from like Texas to Chicago, and they lived on the tracks as the tracks were being built. It was a cool story, right? And so I threw it into a transcriber that I made for Storyvine, and then we took the transcripts and we popped them into, what did I pop it into? Must have just been ChatGPT. I think it was just ChatGPT. And man, it like instantly brought the story to life. And so what Kevin was thinking about doing, he's a pretty serious guy. He used to run IBM's global brand. The guy has it going on. And so he was going to write a book, right? A novel, a fictionalized novel of his dad and his dad's sisters and life on the rails. And what ChatGPT created was like it really just brought this thing to life. And I just said this offhanded comment to him. I said, I think this would make a good children's book. And 4 hours later, he sent Cindy Kuhn and I an email with illustrations and copy for a children's book. And his children's book about, his father and aunt, growing up on the rails is now, being designed by a book designer, and it's going to go into production. And so it's what's starting to strike me, and here's where it's like, this is different than what we've done before, is that any work that you set out to do, what would have historically taken you an hour or two to put together, you can now use one of these tools to put it together in 10 or 15 minutes. And where I had been historically was, okay, I go into ChatGPT, I want to make a business plan. I make a business plan, and then maybe I just keep refining that business plan for the rest of the hour. That's not where my head is right now. Where my head is right now is, okay, I got to make a business plan. What if I take that hour, and in that hour, I say, let me go do one in Perplexity that's going to be research heavy. Let me go do one in Claude that's going to have some interactive elements because it's got this artifacts programming thing in it. Let me go into OpenAI's O1 preview reasoning engine and see what that does. And let me do another, right? Do different tools. Go into Notebook LM and turn it into a podcast. So attack the exact same problem with multiple tools with less of an expectation of the specific outcome. And then I think a couple of things happen. If you have a day like Pate's having, where all of the tools seem to be failing him, you have a much higher chance of, getting one of those tools to actually do something for you. But if you also sort of let the strength of the tool lead where you're going in the output, you might end up with very different outputs than you intended when you went in. Now, if you just need a marketing plan and that's all you were asked for, you have to do that, then do that the old way. But if you're like, I'm thinking of starting a business and I want to do this thing, attack it with multiple tools with less expectations of the outcomes and let the tools kind of inspire you. That's sort of where my head is. And so that's what I figured we'd explore tonight. So, all right. I could try that with personal rebranding. It would be interesting. Yeah, exactly. It's creating. Yeah, exactly, June Mary. It's creating. It's one of the other things that came up in the office hours today, or maybe it was the meeting before that. Some people are having good success. They'll go into Claude and have Claude ingest something and process it and turn it into an outline or whatever, structured notes. And then they'll take that Claude output, and put that into ChatGPT and have it work on it. And it makes the ChatGPT stuff better. So you can start seeding shit that's created in Tool A in Tool C and then take it back to Tool B and refine that and then go, oh, that's an idea for Tool D. So take the same hour, but instead of thinking of it like this linear single output progression, think of it like parallel processing. That's where my head is. All right. Yes, I've been using all kinds of avenues for an outcome equals dopamine. It is totally, that kind of working the way I'm describing, if you're neurospicy and have the ADHD thing going, it's going to be fun for you. If you don't have that, it's probably going to be torture. But I think no matter how your brain works, experimenting with tools that allow you to go wider and deeper in the same amount of time, I think is incredibly powerful. We can only strive to be like Pate. All right. We have an internal tool where we can compare various models with the same prompts. It's nice. That's great. I agree. Parallel. Yeah. Yeah. It really helps. I also like to take multiple media offshoots of lots of things. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, here's a poem, here's a song, here's a business plan, here's a children's book, here's a whatever it is. What did we do today? One of the guys in Content Evolution in Collab today. Oh, this is where it started. He said, this is how the whole thing started. It was Joe Gaml. He said he's in the middle of this project where they've done surveys of people. So they've got all this survey input and they've got these worksheets that they've worked through that led up to the surveys and that everyone did their work in. And then they've got the outputs of those and the surveys and the thing. And I said, why don't you take all that, put it in Notebook LM and generate a podcast? And then I was like, oh, but wait, maybe you could also take it into Claude and tell it to make an interactive dashboard. And then if you haven't seen O1, reasoning engine from OpenAI, you got to see that. So I was just taking this same idea of his and just showing him different things he could do, the different strengths of these tools. And as I was doing it, his jaw was literally dropping open. Like he was like, wait, it what? With the Notebook LM thing. And then when he saw the Claude thing make the interactive dashboard, he was like, huh? And then when he watched the reasoning engine do its reasoning, he was flabbergasted, and it just struck me that ability and that ability to fuck around, right? Fuck around and find out. This is like fuck around and produce some good shit. Well, I like this if I'm ADD, but I took my meds today. If you took your meds, it'll be a bit of a challenge. You'll be able to focus on each tool better. I'm surprised. I gave up my meds ages ago. I'm surprised every day how far ahead this group is than the rest of the population. That's amazing. That's really cool. Well, and I'll tell you what it is. It's, I'd love to pat myself on the back and take credit for it. It really isn't me other than making the space. The reason this channel works, the reason this community works, the reason the AI Salon is as valuable as it is that everyone shows up. and is staying in this conversation, right? I'm creating the space to have this conversation, but you all showing up with this adventurous attitude and this curiosity and this willingness to play and be brave and go, fuck it, I'll try a new tool. That's everything. Because I deeply, 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 deeply believe that curiosity, that willingness to not be the expert right now is the single most important skill you can have. And it's not even a skill. It's an attitude. It's an aptitude. And you should think about the people in your life or in your work life or your professional life that have that curiosity, have that sense of adventure. And you should start hanging out with them and getting them involved with this AI stuff. Because that sense of adventure is everyone in here that's kicking ass and taking names with AI has it in spades. You know, Source Camp that just said she's surprised every day, you know, how far ahead we are here. She's reinvented herself and her business, I don't know, 15 times in the past year and a half. Yes, the willingness to just try. Just try, exactly. The willingness to just try. Because the tools are now getting so good. Right? They're getting so good that all you have to do is just try. You don't have to be a technologist. You know, it wasn't until Emilio's wife said that that I even thought about how many hours I'd put in. Yeah. This weird thing we have here where we hang out together and just play. And sometimes you listen to me and sometimes you don't. And sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's painful. But all the times, it's here. And you're here. And you're off playing and you're trying something. You're like, oh, I can ignore him for now. I've heard this story before. Right? But you go off and you tick, 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 tick. All right, let me mute him and talk to my AI girlfriend. Someone asked me today for my perfect client. Curious, forward-thinking early adopter. There you go. Yep. And what will be frustrating, what I find frustrating, what I know Source Camp finds frustrating, and a lot of people in here find frustrating, is that as you start to get your head around what's possible, when you talk to people who are not in this every day, you sound like a fucking crazy person. You're like, but I can talk to it, and it can speak in Afrikaans, and it can write poetry, and it can make tongue twisters, and it can even say them, and it can say them really fast, and people are like, what? You're like, no, I go into this thing, and I tell it to write a song, and then a minute later, I've got a song, and it's really good. You want to hear one? And you play the song, and they're like, wait, AI did that? You're like, yeah, isn't it amazing? And they're like, it's theft, right? And you're like, wait, no, just, you should try it. It's weird. So I think I'll show you. I'm going to walk you through what I showed Joe Gaml. So I did this in my 10 o'clock meeting, and then I showed the people in the 11 o'clock meeting, and they seemed to dig it. And I've been processing it all day, and it really is some kind of breakthrough for me. I don't quite know what it is yet. Like my past month, ever since 01 came out, has been it's been frustrating. I feel like one of my great skills, one of the things that ADD's given me, is the ability to synthesize things really fast. I don't need much information. Give me 3 data points, I'll put it together. I'll have a whole picture of whatever the fucking thing is. That's a gift. And it's a gift and it's a habit, right? It's like how I can come up with ideas. It's how I can, when I'm talking to people, I'm like, oh, you should try this, you should try that, which is probably annoying as fuck, but it's the only way my brain works. And so with this AI stuff, the inputs are relatively simple. You got a tool that has compressed all of human knowledge into a little ball, into a little gold button.
You can make money with ChatGPT.
And all of human knowledge is sitting inside this little golden button. And all you have to do is ask it for what you want, and squit, out the other side comes some version of what you want. That's really simple. Conceptually, right? So the way my brain thinks is, there's not that many outputs. I should be able to figure this out like this. And I can't. And here's why. It's too big. It's too... What do you mean you can ask it anything and it can do anything? Yeah, it's that. So like, how do you categorize that? How do you think about work in that context? Where's the boundary between creative work and business work? Where's the boundary between personal work and professional work? Where's the boundary between what I contribute and what the machine contributes? It's all really blurry right now. Like it does feel like it actually kind of feels like the new ChatGPT chat bubble. Hey, Quinn.
Hey there, how's it going?
Good. I kind of feel like your new icon is actually perfect. It represents everything and nothing all at the same time.
That's an interesting way to look at it. It's kind of like a blank canvas, open to interpretation, yet full of potential. I like that take. What sparked that thought?
Just shooting the shit with my community here on my TikTok channel.
Nice. It's always fun to share those spontaneous thoughts with your TikTok community.
I don't need any encouragement. I'm talking about it to people. Very nice. Want to try Stable Diffusion chat for your muscle car? I added a Will I Am writer or a William writer. Want to try my Stable Diffusion chat for your muscle car? Yeah, pop it into the AI Salon somewhere. I can see it. I'll take a look at it. I thought we were just playing all this time. I've considered it a waste of hours nightly. Exactly. Yeah. This is insidious education, right? This is osmosis education. This is yeah. It's crazy. All right. So let's see. What do we want to do? All right, we've got 82 people in here. If you're new here, welcome. My name's Kyle Shannon. This is the AI Learning Lab. We're an hour into it. We're 42 minutes into this thing, and we're just getting started. So we started out with a little dog singing. He's on a union scale, and he didn't sing past the minimum today, so he didn't sing very much. Then I sang a little. Then I just rambled for half an hour. Please tell me who doesn't have new voice. Please. Wait. Please tell me who doesn't have new voice. If you don't have new voice, and if you don't know what the hell we're talking about, new voice in ChatGPT, old voice looked like a black or white ball, and then when you talked, it would go ticka, 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 and then when it talked, it would look like a chat bubble, and it would wait for 3 seconds before it answered you. The new voice in the ChatGPT app, the mobile app on iOS and Android, you click this little icon down here, and it'll look like a little sky bubble. Hey, Quinn, how's it going?
Hey, Kyle. How's it going?
It's going good. I want you to state pi up to 50 decimal points.
Sure thing. Pi, here's pi to 50 decimal places. 3.1415926358.
Hey, Quinn, can you do it super fast?
All right, here it goes. 3.141592653589732846264338.
Hey, Quinn, can you do that super fast like that, but with an Irish accent?
Sure thing. Let's give it a whirl. 3.1415926535897328462438.
Okay, that's good. All right. So, if you can't interrupt your voice and you can't get it to do Irish accents or talk faster, you have the old voice. If you don't have the new voice, but you do pay for ChatGPT, I think this is only available to Plus users, try deleting your iOS app and reinstalling it. That seems to kick it. If you're in Europe, write a nasty letter to your regulators saying, hey, regulators, the way you wrote this law, OpenAI's new sexy advanced voice, is actually illegal. So you can't play with it. Thanks, lawmakers. This is what I was talking about in Washington, D.C. a week and a half ago, where I was there saying, be aware that if you write legislation based on where the technology is today, by the time it goes into effect, it may be obsolete. Or you may write some law that seems good on the surface, like the AI shouldn't be able to analyze the emotional content of your voice. That's what the law is. That's how that model works. It's not transcribing your voice into words and then sending the words to a large language model. It's a multimodal model that you're talking directly into, and it understands your intonation as well as your words. That's illegal in Europe. Laws matter. Legislation matters. All right, I'm using ChatGPT to create my press release for my Infinite AI project, my logo, my banner in Alibaba. Perfect. Yeah, exactly. you can do all of it. And if you use Canva, Canva has totally just absorbed all of these AI tools into, like, Canva's just remarkable at this point. Adobe should just buy them and be done with it. But Europe gets to keep TikTok. I think we'll get to keep TikTok. I think they'll just sell it to Kevin O'Leary or some shit like that. Someone will get rich off it. Okay. New voice. You could have 12 personas for an audiobook. Totally. But you don't even need... Have you seen 11 Labs Reader, everybody? Okay. So there's your little icon right there. See Reader with the two dots, or the equal sign sideways? That's from 11 Labs. It's called 11 Reader. Ooh, they got a new splash screen. Sexy. Here's The Wizard of Oz, read by Judy Garland. Can I click on it? Get started. Wait, why am I re-signing in? What is going on here?
The thing always happens that you really... God has given you one...
Ideas are the beginning. I have never been hurt by anything I didn't say.
They've got a new onboarding process.
Ideas are the beginning points of all.
God has given you one... The thing always happens that you really...
Ideas are the beginning points of all.
Oh, they added Deepak Chopra. So they've now got 5 voices Deepak Chopra, Sir Laurence Olivier, James Dean, Burt Reynolds, and Judy Garland. Plus, you can also read, you can add your voice. So let's see, my voices. So here's me. We make our own fortune. We make our own fortunes, and we call them fate. Here's Judy Garland.
Once upon a time, in a land far...
So anyway, so with this app, you can take any PDF, a book you wrote, a book someone else wrote, an ebook, and it will just read them. It's instant audiobooks from text files. It's bonkers. And if you've made yourself a voice model in 11 Labs, you're in there. You and Sir Laurence Olivier could co-voice a book together. All right. I have Photoshop Suite. I'm trying to build my online store from scratch. I have ideas and no money. Well, this is the perfect time to have ideas and no money. Normal is the setting on your dryer. This is so crazy. And we were acting like this. Math magic is all normal. I know. We, in my opinion, we have crossed some sort of threshold, some sort of Rubicon, where for all of 2023 and most of 2024, the tools were limited enough and discreet enough that we could essentially just proceed like normal, like do work as we've always done it, but maybe with just a little bit of, we built an automation, so I'm a little more efficient here, I'm a little more efficient there, but it was work as we know it. I feel like we've crossed this Rubicon in the past. Is Rubicon the right word? Threshold. We've delved into the right threshold. We've delved past the right threshold. That so much more is possible instantly. That for me, it's pushing me to think about work differently. I don't know what it means yet. Something's different though. Something is... And what I find staggering is most people don't know about this shit. Most people have no idea what ChatGPT even does. They're like, oh, it's like fancy Google. Yep. It's like fancy Google that writes code for you and makes pictures for you and can see the world and can analyze the world and can help you finish your memoir you've been taking notes on for 30 or 40 years over a weekend. Ask Becky Rue about that. She did that last weekend. He said delve. I said delve on purpose because I was saying threshold. Threshold's another one of those words you can't say anymore. Oh, man. All right, let's go look at some stuff. So, for those of you that are here a lot, the Crucible is big. Yeah, the Crucible's a good term, right? And maybe that's it. Archetypal architect. I think you've hit on a good metaphor here. I feel like all of 2023 and most of 2024, we've had the AI Crucible. And let's just call like this channel is part of the Crucible, right? We've had this container that's been having heat added to the outside of it, right? Which is investment and engineers adding heat to it. And these tools get dropped into the Crucible. And it started out and the Crucible itself was kind of, orange, and then it got brighter and it got brighter and then it got white. And then the inside of the Crucible was dark. And when you drop the tools in, they'd just sit in there, right? You'd see your pieces of bronze, your chunks of tin just in there, and you could see them and you could make them out. And the heat kept increasing and the heat kept increasing. They keep dumping tools in. And I feel like what's happened in the past 2 months is that the Crucible's gotten hot enough that the tools have kind of melted into the molten, glowing blob. And how you interact with that glowing blob is very different than how you interact with the individual piece parts. That feels like the right metaphor. Yeah, they disappeared about a month ago randomly, or that might have been something else. Can someone comment on how Claude is compared to ChatGPT and Gemini? Yes. So, Simonson Brandt, I assume Brandt Simonson. We'll just call you Sim. So Sim, if you just hang out here, I'll throw Gemini into this as well. Gemini's a bit more complicated because how you get to it is not as straightforward, but I'll put it in here as well because it's really powerful. And in fact, I heard a story, Lord Digital Gods talked about a project he did in Gemini over the past couple of weeks. Or no, maybe it was over a weekend as well, where he took C# code that he wrote 20 years ago and popped it into Gemini and turned it into a modern web application. And then with like 24 different C# modules that he just vomited into this thing with no organization, and it figured it all out and refactored it in like 4 hours. He had it done. So yeah, and like that was another example of just holy shit. So what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna take this single idea, this single thing that I did for this one guy, and I'm going to go through Notebook LM, Claude, ChatGPT 01, the reasoning engine, and then we'll go do something with Gemini. I've been telling folks about you, Kyle. I'm going to continue to do so. Thank you, June Mary. I appreciate that. I appreciate that a lot. And again, I mean, I kind of feel bad for people that just pop in here because we're down some fairly esoteric rabbit holes right now, but it's kind of where we are, and there's a weird thing happening right now. If you're new to AI, so there's 96 people in here, so I assume that there's a fair amount of people in here that are relatively new to AI. I'm going to show you some stuff right now that if you haven't seen this shit, it's going to blow your fucking mind. And if you've been in here for 18 months and you've been here every night for 18 months like I have, like Emilio's wife just popped up there, think about this in its totality and think about what I'm about to sort of walk through in the context of what we've done over the past 18 months. Like we're just in a different place. So I would encourage you to just kind of, look at this anew. But if you're new here and you're feeling like, oh my God, like what are these guys even talking about? Like I don't even know the words they're saying. That's okay. It's okay. You don't need to be technical to be able to use these tools. One of the big breakthroughs, the reason ChatGPT is such a big deal, is that it's the first tool that was created that allows non-engineers to be able to take advantage of machine learning and artificial intelligence at scale. And because of ChatGPT, massive amounts of money and engineering talent all got focused in this direction. And so there are now dozens, hundreds, thousands of tools that all take advantage of the same basic architecture and are giving all of us kind of infinite superpowers to do whatever the hell we want to do. So you may feel very behind, but we're actually very, very early. If you're here, if you're paying attention to this and you haven't left yet and you haven't been like, is this guy ever going to finish a sentence? If you're curious enough to still be here, you're way ahead of where most people are on the planet. So just hang out, just absorb it. And what I would encourage you to do is keep coming back. Also, if you want to explore something while I'm showing this stuff, go check out the AI Salon. So the salon.ai, click on the button that says join our community and go join that community. So that's a community of AI optimists that, this show is effectively kind of an extension of the Salon. Okay. So let me pop over here. And where am I going to start? I'm going to start with Notebook LM. Okay, so Notebook LM. If one of the mods would kindly pop the URL, notebooklm.google.com, just type that in there and pin it so people can see it. That would be great. Newbie here. Mind was blown as soon as I met Source Camp. Yeah, I know, right? I'm a Weaver, Texas. I know. It was really good to meet you. Thanks. I'm really glad you and your husband came to the office hours today. So really nice to meet you, and really excited to have you here. Honey Curls GC, kind of addicted to this. Weekends feel odd going through withdrawals. I know. I used to do this 7 days a week, but ultimately the family said, enough, boy. Give us our weekends back. But I may sneak a weekend in here or there. Okay. So Notebook LM. So you see all these little cards. These are all my little notebooks. Couple of things. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the same idea and kind of explore it in different tools and just show you how I'm thinking about these things and how you might think about them. So don't think of these so much as, oh, that's a tool I got to use for this, or that's a tool I got to use for that. Think of these more like take a single idea and explore it across these tools. So this is the first one. Is Notebook LM. Thing about Notebook LM, it's been around for, 18 months? No, not 18 months, 8 months, something like that. It's been around for a while. And some people were really big fans of it. And the way it works is, I'll just show you a very simple one. This is a notebook for a book that I'm working on with Kevin Clark called Collective Intelligence. I think it's going to launch in the next 2 weeks. We're going to put it in the world in the next 2 weeks. So the way this works is you upload a source, and down the left-hand side here, you've got your sources. So these might be PDF documents. These might be URLs. They just added yesterday, you can actually include YouTube URLs. You can upload audio files. So if you have an audio recording of a podcast, you can just pop it in here. This is using Gemini technology on the back end, and you basically just start chatting with your work, your PDFs. So this is kind of like a poor man's RAG. If you've heard of the term RAG, retrieval augmented generation, this is just kind of like instant RAG. You just upload some data documents to it and you start chatting with it. And I know the technical people on the call, it's not technically a RAG, and I know, whatever. So I said poor man's RAG. Okay, but so if I want, I could say explain. Okay, let's see. Let me show you just how a general prompt would work in this. Write me a Shakespearean-style sonnet that explains this book to me in easy-to-understand terms. And so just like, just like ChatGPT, it'll answer it. Oops. In this new age where machines now think, a book is writ on change's sharp brink. It speaks of knowledge locked away and how AI might light the day. The future work transformed, reborn, with agile teams did old structures torn. Man's cleverness combined with might of AI's grasp on day and night. Yet keep in mind, though words seem bright, these tools possess no inner light. With empathy we shape their use for common good, not to abuse. So let us learn what this book saith and build a world of joy and faith. That's pretty good. Okay, so you can write a little sonnet about your book you're writing. Great. Now, so in this case, the guy that I was talking to, Joe Gaml, he had the framework, the workbook that they worked from. He had survey results. He had answers from the workshops that they did, and he had those all as documents. So he would have just uploaded them into here. And then he could have just said, I want an interview guide, for someone to interview people about this project. And this thing would have created it, right? So he could have just used Notebook LM to just do that, right? He wanted an interview guide. He comes in, he puts his content in here. He says, give me an interview guide. He goes back and forth with it 4 times. He finally gets it dialed into where he likes. Let's see. You're amazing. Thank you for sharing and helping us learn. Love you, brother. Thank you very much. Thank you. You're welcome, G-Train. That's why we're here. And here's my request, G-Train. If you appreciate it, just keep hanging out here. And as you start to get your head around this stuff, do the same for others, right? Generously lead. And if someone comes in and they're like, what the hell is he talking about? Jump in and answer questions, or do it in your real life. Do it at, the bakery in the morning. Someone's like, I don't know, this ChatGPT stuff's scary. Jump in and say, no, it's not. All right, how do you use audio in Notebook LM? Okay, that's where I'm getting to. Okay, so in my AI 1.0 brain, if I needed an interview guide for a project and I knew Notebook LM, I'd come in here and do that. And at the end of 15 minutes, I'd have my notebook or my interview guide, and I'd say, okay, I'm done. Check it off the list. Efficiency gained. Yay, AI. You've replaced a job. Yay. In my new way of thinking, I'm like, well, what else can this thing do that might just be an interesting experiment? Well, if you haven't seen Notebook LM before, this is going to blow your fucking mind. So you click on this in the lower right-hand corner, there's this thing that says Notebook Guide. And when you pop open Notebook Guide, it's a guide, and it like, here's a summary of all of the data that we have uploaded here. This gives you a summary of it, and then it says, help me create an FAQ about this, a study guide, a table of contents, a timeline, a briefing document, or here are suggested questions you could ask about this book. So this is a whole thing that's going to help you take in whatever is the data that you've uploaded and summarize it in all sorts of crazy and interesting ways. But in the upper right-hand corner here is this thing called Audio Overview. Now, Notebook LM's been out for 8 months. No one really cared about it. Some people did. There were people that were fans of it. And like for the past 6 months, people have said, Kyle, you really got to talk about Notebook LM. I'm like, yeah, whatever, loser. I just didn't take it in, right? And then they released this little feature. So about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, they just buried inside this sub-feature of a sub-feature of this pretty incredible tool. They just added this thing. And what it says here is load the conversation. But if you haven't created something here before, it'll say, create an audio overview that's a deep dive of 2 people talking back and forth in English. But listen to this. So you just push the generate button, and about 2 or 3 minutes later, something like this comes out for your project.
All right, so today we're going to dive into something kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah.
The future of intelligence.
It's a big one.
But we're not talking, like those sci-fi movies with robots taking over.
Right.
This is different. This is about humans and AI like teaming up to become something even smarter than we could be on our own.
Like unlocking superpowers we never thought of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to help us explore this, we've got Collective Intelligence in the Age of AI.
Great book.
Great book.
And, you know, the authors, Kevin Clark and Kyle Shannon, they're not just talking about this stuff.
Yeah.
They're actually out there building it.
Yeah, they're really making it happen.
With their company, Content Evolution, bringing together all these brilliant minds.
Okay, so now I've got a podcast of my book. The book hasn't been published yet. And these two objective NPR-style podcaster people are talking about my book. And they're talking about it like, they're like blowing sunshine up my ass. They're like, huh, that's a really interesting idea. I hadn't thought of that. Boy, they're really coming at this from all sorts of crazy angles. Like, it's just wild. And so this is one tool, right? So I've come in here to create an interview guide. And if I just take a small moment to, instead of say, I need an interview guide and I just want to be more efficient, I come in and I say, what does this tool make possible in addition to my interview guide? So that's one thing. Okay. So now I'm going to flip over to Claude. So Claude, where are my projects? Yeah, here we go. Okay, so Claude, if you don't know Claude is very similar to ChatGPT. It's created by a company called Anthropic. It is a bunch of ex-OpenAI employees, so when the leadership of OpenAI flees from OpenAI, they tend to go and, you know, collaborate and coalesce in other corners of the AI universe, and Anthropic is one of those. So this is, again, a very similar tool to ChatGPT. Joe could have taken his data points, put them in here, and said, hey, Claude, make me an interview guide. And this would have also just made him an interview guide. But what we did today is I uploaded the Collective Intelligence book, and instead of saying, make me an interview guide, I said, in fact, you know what? I'll show it to you like this, and then I'll show you how it works. Okay. I uploaded the book, and then my prompt was, make me an interactive dashboard that is a teaching tool for the concepts in the book. And so I'm going to click on this thing, and it's going to open this window over on the side. And so what Claude actually does, this is a feature called artifacts. And doesn't it really make you want to read your book out loud? There's a ton of stuff to know about, would taking Google courses be a good idea? Well, it's not a bad idea, Michael, but here's the challenge. There are so many tools. So Google, if you want to be a developer, taking Google courses is probably not a bad idea, because a lot of the Google tools are really designed for developers. Like access to the 1.5 Pro Gemini model, you actually do it inside the development tool. Notebook LM is a relatively consumer grade application, right? Not designed for developers. If you want to be a developer, it's not bad, but that's just giving you, a single company's view of the world. You've got Meta doing major AI work. You've got Google doing major AI work. You've got Anthropic. You've got OpenAI. You've got Microsoft. Like, there are tons. Take any class, but don't pay more than $50. I think that's an appropriate statement, Cosmic Lover. Anything you can do to get your head around this stuff, I say do it. Don't think that anyone's got this figured out. Here's my thing. If you want to get into the tech side of this and the mathematics side of this, and building frontier models and being under the hood, there's plenty of courses on that. If you want to have your head around the applications of tools like ChatGPT Everyone's trying to figure that out because the tools keep changing so fast. So don't think that there's any single source. Okay. All right. So what you're looking at here is code that when I asked it to write an interactive dashboard, it wrote this code and then it lets you preview it. So here is a little application about my book, Collective Intelligence in the Age of AI. It's an interactive dashboard. Here's an overview tab that's got the 3 main concepts in it. Here are key concepts. Here are some visualizations, or a visualization that it came up with from the book. And then here's a little quiz. It's like, okay, cool. So that was cool. And then it did that and it told me about it. And then I said, oh, you know what? I want you to build a scenario planner instead that shows life with collective intelligence approach, with and without collective intelligence, with lots of levers to change the outcomes. And so it created this thing. Just fucking bonkers. The Collective Intelligence Scenario Planner. So it took core concepts in our book: AI adoption, collaboration level, data sharing, ethical framework, and education investment. And it put them all at 50%. And then down here it says, here's what the future looks like with collective intelligence and without collective intelligence. And then watch this. As I slide these sliders, the graphs change. So I can go in here and say, okay, well, we're not going to really invest in education. We care a lot about ethics. We don't have a lot of data to share. We're gonna be really proprietary about our data. We'll do medium collaboration, and then we're going to go all in on AI. And you can even notice that when the bars get to the top of, this is 60%, when they go above 60%, it resets the scale to 80%. And so, I mean, holy crap. And then there's the scenario analysis that explains how to do it. Kyle, can we see the prompt one more time? Yes, of course. But again, I don't want you to think, like, I am not a prompt engineer. I was just dicking around, right? I was just showing Joe. In fact, this one of the interesting things. I'll show you the prompt in a second. When we got to the end of this exercise, Joe said, okay, so I should use Claude to make interactive dashboards. And we're like, no. You can use Claude to do all the shit you would do with ChatGPT, and you can make interactive dashboards. But you could also tell it to make you a video game that teaches the concepts of your book, or just like literally anything. If you have an idea for an application, just ask for it and it'll build it. But the prompt that I wrote was, I want you to build a scenario planner instead, right? So it had built that other thing that just showed the concept. It's kind of a lame-ass app. And so I wanted something that was going to be more interactive. So I said, I want you to build a scenario planner instead that shows life without collective intelligence approach. With collective intelligence approach and without, and lots of levers to change the outcomes. Like, this is a horrible prompt, right? This is a horrible prompt. Like, it's completely non-specific, right? This is, if I were working with Pate and I gave him that prompt, he'd be like, dude, you're fired. You can't work here anymore. Well, he would have fired me long ago, but that's not the point. It's smart enough to know what that means. And then it just goes and writes the code. And you're like, well, what do you mean it writes the code? Well, here, watch. Let's go to the bottom and we'll say, let's see, what do we want to do? Okay, for the interactive sliders, rather than outputting a bar chart, I want you to output a dynamic word cloud that reconfigures itself based on the slider input. And so it's thinking. It's going to go, certainly, I'll do that. And there it is writing the code. So again, if you're new here, if you've never watched this tool or any of these tools write code, this is not teaching me to write Python. This is not teaching me to write HTML or whatever the fuck it's writing in. It's writing it. And then it's going to run it. Now, will it work? I don't know. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. These tools are janky as shit. But I'll tell you what, if you've never coded in your life before, and you see it do this, holy crap. Right? Now, it didn't pop over. Let's see the preview. Oh, there we go. So let's see. If I change yeah, there you go. So it's a janky word cloud. But as I move these, sustainability and social equity and quality of life go up. As I increase the ethical framework, collaboration level goes up. How does the words change? They don't, but let's say no AI adoption. Let's see. Let's get rid of ethics. Ethics are a waste. Let's not do that. So anyway, all right, janky and not great, but holy shit, it just wrote that. It just modified the code to do shitty word cloud instead of charts and graphs. All right. So that's Claude. So again, Claude could absolutely have accomplished creating an interview guide without even really trying, right? You could come in here, give it the data, say, write me an interview guide, and just stop right there. But now, because I'm taking this multi-headed approach, I went to Notebook LM. That gave me some shit. Maybe it gave me an FAQ. Oh, an FAQ, that's a good idea to create. And then it created that podcast for me. I'm like, oh shit, that's cool. Then I came in here. Now I've got an interactive application. You know what else I can do? Down in the lower right-hand corner, do you know what this says? Publish. Publish. The person asking about Replit and Cursor. Yes, I've seen them both. Replit for me is the one for non-developers that is the most magical, because it doesn't require you to have developer knowledge of things like development environments and databases and front-end frameworks and servers. It just does all that shit for you. So I don't know Cursor because my technical ability is I would say probably just below that. I could figure it out, but I don't feel like it. So if you're a developer, Cursor sounds pretty fucking amazing. But even if you're a developer or you're a non-developer, Replit is absolutely insane. In fact, I've got a video. I had a pretty big Kevin McAllister moment with Replit in here where I had it create an application, and it was absolutely nuts. Hang on, the dog's whining. I think he wants cheese. What's up? You want cheese? Do you want cheese? Is that what's happening? All right. Big fat dad. Is someone down here? Fat dog. Okay. So Replit's very cool. What did I make in Replit? I even forget the app I made in it. But it made me a fully functional app. Oh! In Replit, I made Replit's another one. You could probably do something with Replit where you could upload, I don't know, some sort of data source that you process. You could process a PDF in any one of these tools and output some JSON of like structured data from your book, and then throw that into Replit and say, turn it into an application. The application I made on Replit, I did it live on the channel here. I had an idea for an app, I don't know, 15 years ago, called Memory Mapper. that would allow you to create a Google map, and you drop pins, and when you drop a pin, you could share a memory. This is where I got high with, Bucky on the 50-yard line at Beaver Stadium at Penn State. It was Vince, actually, but, hey, whatever. And within, 90 minutes or something like that, 2 hours, I had a functional map application that not only let me drop pins on it, it let me upload multimedia files like pictures and audio and video for every memory. It was amazing. So, wow, this looks amazing. Yeah, bonkers. Okay, so we've done 2 tools now. So all of this shit, we came in with a single idea. We want to create a question guide from some data we've got. In the Kyle Shannon Brain 1.0 of AI, you come in, you do your efficiency thing, and you get the hell out. The new way I'm thinking is like, fuck that. Use multiple tools to not only accomplish what you're going in for, but to do whatever, learn these tools well enough to know that they can do some shit that's beyond what you can even imagine. This is why in the AI Salon, we talk about the journey to AI literacy as this thing that looks kind of silly. Where does it publish to? I think it just gives you a URL, Genie, and then they're hosting all these applications. So you can just give someone that URL to that application, they log into it, and then they use your Claude application. Okay. Play first, mindfully create, generously lead. What the fuck is this? We discovered this after a year or so of people telling us how remarkable being part of the AI Salon was. And we started interviewing people like, well, what's remarkable about it? And there was lots. It was the people, and it was the knowledge, and it was the generosity, and it was the curiosity, and it was the adventure, and it was the bravery, and it was the, just the journey. And this journey kept coming up. And I think it was Liz Gershfeld. I forget Liz's last name, Gershfeld. But anyway, Liz something Gershfeld something. Anyway, very cool discussion tonight. Thanks, John. Liz kind of described, she came into the salon and she said she didn't know anything about AI. And then she just started playing, and she started watching our back meetings, and she watched our speakers talk and people ask questions, and she started, just absorbing this stuff. And then through absorbing it, she learned enough about some tools to say, oh, I actually want to try something. And she started making images in Midjourney or something like that. And then as she started to do that, she started telling people what she was learning and how she was learning and things like that. So she started generously leading. And so we ended up articulating it in these 3 modes. Just play with these tools. They're changing so fast that if you were a master of all of the AI tools in July, you're going to feel relatively clueless right now, because they're all different. Everything's changed. The interfaces have changed. The capabilities have changed. There's completely new things, like O1 preview from ChatGPT is not ChatGPT. It's a different thing. I don't even know what it is. So I'm back to playing first with O1 preview because I don't know how to use it. So I just got to play with it. And at some point, I'll get my head around it, and then I can go, oh, I know what I'd do with that. And then I'll mindfully create something. And as I'm doing that, I'm hopefully generously leading and telling people what I'm learning. And I still feel clueless. Me too. Exactly. Cloud Tech Goddess. Yeah. Honest to God, it's just like I have never in my life learned so much and felt so clueless. If you're absolutely 100% clueless, you're like, 0.0001% behind where anyone else is right now. Like, you're barely behind because everything is changing so fast. Prompt was, how can I integrate Notebook LM into, I didn't see that. That went away too fast. Thoughts on AI governance? Yes, you should do it. So a couple of things on AI governance. The C-suite needs to be playing with these tools. When I was in Washington, D.C., everyone was talking relatively articulately about AI policy. They were listening. They were being polite. They were saying, this is great information. I'm taking notes. I'll pass this along. And then I would say, are you personally using ChatGPT? Oh, no. Not a single, well, no. Hickenlooper's staffer did. Out of 6 people I met with, 5 of them were not using AI at all. You know, this is at the highest level of our government. You got to play with this shit. You got to understand not only what it can do for you today, but like what it's making possible and how quickly it's changing. It's going to change how we work. So anyway, play. If you're feeling like, I don't know how to do that, well, just go fucking play with it. Just go play with it. Go now. If you're sitting here watching this with your arms crossed and you're like, I don't know about the ethics of this, or I heard this is the world's greatest plagiarism machine. It very well may be. I'll give you a really good example. We just had this horrible hurricane hit us. Arguing about whether or not AI is good or bad is a very similar argument if you argue that hurricanes are good or bad. You could even pass a law that makes hurricanes illegal in Florida. And you could tell the people, hey, people, it's okay. You don't have to worry anymore. We've outlawed hurricanes. They're still fucking coming. AI is exactly the same way. So if you're sitting on the sideline right now, even on this call, go to chatgpt.com right now and just start playing. Have it write you a cookbook. Have it write you a children's book. Make a picture. Like, whatever. Just start to experience it. All right, enough about that. And if you want to know how to get to that site where you can go play first and mindfully create and generously lead, go there and click on the button that says join our community. Okay? Ah, yes, the academic answer. It depends. I heard that Meta AI voice is even better than ChatGPT. From what I understand, Danielle, it is still doing text or voice to text transcription and then sending the text transcript to the large language model. So it's a different mechanism than the OpenAI one, unless I'm wrong. But I heard that right now OpenAI and the hell's it called? The shitty one that we've used. Not Mitzi. The hell's her name? Anyway, the OpenAI voice is different because you're talking directly into a multimodal model, and it's understanding the emotional context of your voice, which is why it's illegal in Europe. But it might be. I haven't played with it. I don't think I have access to it. Okay, Moshi, that's what it is. Thank you, Vicky. Vicky's my second brain. Okay, so we were at Notebook LM, and then we were at Claude. So there's Claude, and now we're going to go to ChatGPT. Where's my ChatGPT? Well, you know, if you wouldn't have so many tabs open, you could probably find it. This seems a little chaotic. Shut up! I'll just type it in. chatgpt.com. Okay. So, download. Oh, look at this. Look what they just added here. That's really slick. Download the latest iOS or Android app and try advanced voice mode with a QR code. That's really smart. Good for them. Looks like they're getting some talent in there that understands UX and product marketing. Very cool. Okay. Tab hoarders unite. Absolutely, Emilio's wife. Don't you take my tabs away. Well, you know, you could get some memory overload errors if you all of those active tabs. You have a very significant risk of overloading the cache memory and the active memory because there's well, within Google Chrome there have been known leaks, what they call leaks, memory leaks that will in fact infect the kernel. They can actually affect other applications within the operating system. Shut up. Good Lord, people. Show the QR code, please. All right. There you go. Zap that shit. Can I make it bigger? All right. Nope. That's it. We need our tabs. All right. You know what my response to the memory leak problem is? Fix your fucking memory leaks. Chrome, Google, Pate. Tell those Chrome people to fix the fucking browser. Well, of course, someone could open multiple tabs. We don't currently recommend they open more than 6 tabs, and tab management is an important skill that you know one should acquire when using. We don't certainly anticipate anyone having more than 7, possibly at max 10 tabs. I mean, that would be ridiculous. Someone had 10 tabs open. It's kind of funny. Fix your fucking memory leaks. Good Lord. There's people out here trying to use your browser. This is definitely an AA meeting. Hi, my name's Kyle. I'm into AI. Hi, Kyle. Okay, we're going to close that shit down. Okay, so now we're at ChatGPT. So again, the exercise here, if you're new here, if you're still here and have been listening to this, and you're questioning your life choices, that's the appropriate mindset to have. Okay. What the exercise is rather than thinking of these AI tools as a singular efficiency tool, start to think of them in concert. And so if you've got a single thing to do, like Joe Gaml had this single thing to do. He had some data he wanted to synthesize, and he wanted to use some tool to create an interview guide. And then he asked the group, what tool should I use? And so what I'm showing here tonight is kind of the progression that I showed him. And in showing them to him, I realized that there's a completely new way of working that is foreign to me. I've never thought about this because I've never had tools capable of allowing me to think like this. That rather than just solving one problem with one tool, have one problem you want to solve, but solve the same problem with multiple tools, and then go beyond solving that specific problem and just do some other shit. Do some ancillary shit. Take the same hour that you would have taken to just do that one thing and just go do a pile of shit. Okay, so the third tool we're looking at, so we looked first at Notebook LM. We created a podcast on top of the interview guide. Then we went to Claude, and we created an interactive application on top of the interview guide. And now we're at ChatGPT 4. So I could just go into ChatGPT 4 and ask it to make an interview guide. But if you haven't been paying super close attention to ChatGPT, and why would you? About 2 weeks ago, they announced this thing, O1 Preview. And it was called Project Strawberry, and there was all this hype on it. And then when they released it, people sort of got it, but sort of didn't. And people like David Shapiro said, oh, there's no real magic there. It's just a piece of crap. It's just chain of thought reasoning. There's nothing to look at here. Let's keep it moving, people. But it uses what's called chain of thought reasoning, which is just a fancy term to say it prompts itself to kind of, it takes your prompt and then it reasons. It sort of prompts itself to think through multiple steps to give you the best possible answer. And so it's not something you would use all the time, but I'm going to flip over to this and I'm going to go, let me go see. Did I put this on the desktop? I did not. All right, let me see if I can find something here. Hang on. Oh, it is here. Where is it? iCloud Drive. Okay. So I just copied. So here's a nuance about O1 Preview. So O1 Preview is this hobbled little preview that's not connected to the internet. You can't upload files to it. It doesn't have vision. Like all the multimodal stuff that GPT-4o has, this doesn't. But it's got a really large context window. It says 32,000 tokens. I think it might even be bigger than that, but I'm not sure. But anyway, if you don't know what any of that means, it doesn't matter. If you want to get data into it, you have to paste it. Just paste it as text. So I just copied the entire text of my book, Collective Intelligence. And so I'm going to say, based on this book, shift, return, paste. There's my whole book. Please write me an interview guide designed for consultants to interview C-suite executives at Fortune 500 companies to help them assess their readiness for collective intelligence as it's defined in the book. Okay, so that's the prompt. So again, basically what I'm doing here is I'm saying I want an interview guide, and I want an interview guide for this specific thing. And so you could do this within ChatGPT 4o, and it would just give you the guide. But I want to show you how O1 Preview does it. So I'm going to submit this. It's going to eat the book, and then it's going to say thinking. So it's thinking. Now it says navigating, fostering something, understanding. Okay, so it thought for 7 seconds. So right here, see it thought for 7 seconds. Well, what's that actually mean? Well, if you click on this drop-down menu, it'll actually show you the chain of thought prompting it did. So before it answered you, it actually thought about what it was doing. So crafting an interview guide. I'm thinking through an interview guide for consultants. Okay, great. Navigating AI synergy. I'm mapping out the book's themes. Unwinding collective intelligence's rise. I'm fostering a forward-thinking mindset. I'm curious about crafting an interview guide that assesses I'm understanding an organization's dynamics. So section 1. And so then it gives me the interview guide. Really well written, but now it's thought through all that stuff. So there's that. So I'm going to say, tell me other documents and work group frameworks you'd recommend for this book. Oh, so now this is actually cool. This is actually giving me it's doing two different chain of thought responses. So this is a way that ChatGPT is actually learning. They're doing A/B testing right now. So I'm actually getting a bonus response here, right? So both of these are going through chain of thought reasoning. This is fascinating because we're going to be able to open both of these up and see what it thought. So this one thought for 20 seconds. And that one's still thinking, which is wild. Forming cross-functional teams. Huh. Well, we'll let that one do its thing. Maybe that one looks like it might have hung. So let's go look at what this did. Oh, wait, no. So that one thought for 24 seconds. All right, so this one crafted an interview guide, providing recommendations, charting useful resources, enhancing the book. I'm adding practical insights to enrich the collective intelligence book, including case studies on AI collective intelligence integration and white papers. I'm integrating frameworks. I'm pulling together agile methodologies with content evolution principles using design thinking and Synaphin framework, the Synaphin framework, and holacracy to boost creativity and manage complexity. Like, holy shit. This is doing shit that if you prompt these things a lot, you start to go, oh, give me 3 or 4 different frameworks for X, Y, Z, and it'll do that. But it's now doing that on its own. This is all behind the scenes. If I hadn't opened that little, thought for 20 seconds drop-down menu, we wouldn't even know that it did this. Evaluating readiness, overcoming challenges, crafting community networks, learning from leaders, identifying future trends, enhancing collaboration. Okay, so that's all the thinking that it did. So here's the additional documents for the work group. To enrich your book, supplementary documents, case studies and white papers, research articles, frameworks and models, agile methodology, design thinking, holacracy. So just a whole shit ton of stuff here. Goes on and on and on and on. Conclusion, next steps. All right, now let's go over and look at this side. So since we lucked out and got 2 versions of this, that's pretty cool. Good Lord. This is long-winded. So identifying supplementary resources, laying out the options, mapping maturity, crafting evaluation tools, facilitating impactful workshops, showcasing practical examples, crafting key strategies, building a framework, collective intelligence, maturity model. It came up with its own acronym. Like, that's the kind of shit that you would take a fucking half a day in your workshop to come up with that acronym. Recommendation: develop a detailed sim that includes levels such as initial, developing, defined, managed, and optimized. This one's much better. Collective Intelligence Readiness Assessment Toolkit. Workshop facilitation guides. Case study compilation. Roadmap template. Ethical governance. Skills and competencies framework. Unbelievable. Goes on and on. Agile methodology, design thinking. I prefer this response. So we just did a little training. You're welcome, OpenAI. You're welcome, Sam. Now, if you're not dicking around with these tools, if you're not playing with these tools, you likely don't even know that these are different options, right? You likely don't know that O1 is limited to 50 responses a week, right? It's rate limited because it's doing a lot more. And then you also, like me, probably don't know, well, when would I use O1 versus 4.0? I actually don't know. But this is like this little project with Joe Gaml and this simple little thing he did. This was a perfect example to show him, here's what this tool does that ChatGPT 4 doesn't. And at one point, I think it was one of the guys in Content Evolution said, "Joe, your mouth's open," because Joe was literally sitting there like this. This is what Joe does for a living, coming up with these frameworks. So I'm not going to go look at Gemini. We did Notebook LM, which uses Gemini, so that's good enough. Give Kyle some taps on the screen, peeps. Thank you. Thank you, Khaki. So I know that was a lot. And I know it's Friday night date night, and we're supposed to be dicking around and having fun. This cauldron that we're in, it's hitting the boiling point. And how we use these tools right now is not how we've used them for the past year. I don't think I don't think it works to think about these tools as single entities that you do serial linear tasks in. These tools are going to be everywhere. It's kind of like trying to separate out, well, you know, where would I use the internet in this part of my business? Well, I don't like, you'd use it everywhere, because it's just, the internet's just like fabric, right? It's just like the fabric of space-time. The internet is like the fabric of how we do modern business. AI is not that yet, but it's going to be that. So if you want to start to get literate, ain't none of us literate right now. You gotta start looking at playing enough with, looking at all these moving parts and just throw shit at it. Like, I wish I had more concrete advice, but like I don't. Like, I think it's, and here's the other thing. This is kind of the brilliance of having a general tool. The way my brain works is unique. Oh, there's a skunk. I have my window open and a skunk just did its skunky thing. The way my brain works is not going to be the way your brain works. And so how you attack what I just did, if you take on what I just did, how you end up integrating this into what you do is going to be completely different. And that's not only okay, it's actually really important. The reason that the Salon, the AI Salon, is such a powerful community, why it's such a powerful organization of people, is that there's people with lots of different ways of approaching work and approaching the world and approaching ethics and approaching learning and approaching everything. And because they're generously leading, because they're sharing what they're learning, you get the benefit. Like if you don't think the way I think, when you come into this channel, you're going to be like, oh, I wouldn't have thought of it like that. And if you were running this channel and you showed me something, I would likely go, oh, I wouldn't have thought of it like that. That's the power of this group. That you get to learn how to use these tools in ways that you couldn't possibly imagine. So back to, is there homework for the weekend? Yes. I would say take a single discrete thing you want to do, either for work or for like a home project or a personal project or an art project, but a single discrete thing, and use at least 3 different tools. I don't care what the tools are. If it's music, find 3 different music making tools. If it's art, find 3 different art tools. If it's something with words and ideas, 3 different LLMs. Use at least 3 different tools to execute that single idea with the 3 different tools, but then dig deeper with each of the tools and generate some other output. Make a picture, make a application, make a something that is outside of your comfort zone. Make a something that is not what you expected. Cosmic Lever, you saved my life, guys. Awesome. That's great. This is powerful shit in here. It's powerful. It's important. Just explore. And here's the thing. The thing that you need to create, that one thing, will be done within 10 minutes. But I want you to take like the full hour or the full 2 hours or however long your brain is willing to explore and execute it 3 times and then execute additional stuff. You're going to come out of the other end of that hour in a completely different place with your project. I promise you. In a completely different place. You will likely have ideas that like you'll probably think about your project in a different way. That's what happened to me today. Joe Gaml was like, all he wanted, the poor guy, all he wanted was, what tool should I use to make a question guide? What he got was just, a Tourette-style vomit of, here's a bunch of shit you could do. But I think what all of us realized in that chaos was, oh my God, this is a different way to work. It's a different way to think. It's a different way to process ideas. And what I can promise you, if you're willing to be uncomfortable enough to not really know how this tool works and not really know how that one does, but do it anyway, that bravery component of like being willing to feel like an idiot is everything. Do you know how fucking horribly humiliating it was when I decided I wanted to start a TikTok channel? And I was literally like, Marge, how do you turn this thing? How do I know the TikTok's on? That joke I make, that's where I started with this stuff. Like, I had just like anxiety and angst of like, oh, you're just dumb. Everyone knows how to use TikTok, but you fucking loser. Be willing to be in that place. And then just fucking do it. Because the tools are now remarkable enough that you'll surprise yourself. You'll come out the other side and be like, well, yeah, I mastered that. I got AI down. Oh, man. Kyle, I think you might have figured out how to spread ADHD. This is definitely... Okay, my weekend project is purposefully have ADHD. It actually is. If you have ADHD, this is going to feel like, oh, yeah, that's how I would do that. If you're a linear thinker, this is going to be uncomfortable. But do it anyway. And then hopefully next Monday we'll all learn some shit from what you learned. Last weekend it was dig up some old shit and turn it into something. And Becky Rue came back and she goes, I have 33 chapters of my memoir done. I'm glad I'm an irregular. I'm glad you're an irregular. Thank you, Deal of the Day. I'm glad you're here. So, that's Friday night date night. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. Tuesday evening, we have a Salon meeting. We've got a speaker from Australia, actually. So if Steve-O or anyone else is in the house... Sounds like there are fireworks going on outside my little window here. What's your schedule on TikTok? I try to go. I try to keep it consistent. 5 nights a week at 8 p.m. Mountain Time. If it's a salon night, like next Tuesday is a salon night, and how you sign up for the salon, you go there, click on Join the Community. There's like a 7-step kind of welcome, get started process. And I think 4 or 5 is sign up, RSVP for one of our events. So go join the salon. Doesn't cost anything. And then RSVP for the meeting on Tuesday. We'll have a speaker and we'll talk about what's going on. There's been a lot going on in AI, so we got lots to talk about. And then I'll come here and do this. So I'm here 5 nights a week and take the weekends off. And it allows us all to just kind of recharge and play. 50,000 for the weekend. We can do it. We're up to 42,000. So go wake the grandkids. Get them tapping the screen. So what you want to do, especially if you got grandkids, if you're younger and you have young kids, wake them up too. They should be between 3 and 7, right? Any older than 7, they're gonna realize they're being exploited. So if you want to exploit, the child labor within your household, get them tapping. And if they're like, Grandpa, I'm tired, just keep tapping, Jenny. We got to get him to 50,000. Can I use my other hand? No, use that hand. It's faster, right? It builds character. And you can also tell them, there are winners and losers in this world. Not everyone gets a trophy while they're tapping. You can just break them down, right? All right. Am I in the irregulars list? Launch your digital business. I have seen you in here more than once. Yes. Here's the deal. If you're wondering, who are the irregulars? How do I become an irregular? The irregulars are just people weird enough that they show up here night after night after night. And so if you do, you are one. How they got their name is one night it hit me, all these people keep showing up. And I called them out and I said, you're a bunch of fucking weirdos. And Emilio's wife, who's here tonight, said, we're not weird, we're irregular. It cracked me up hard, and that name stuck. Because I'm like, oh, you're irregular on so many levels. So, there's Maylocks jokes. You can just run that, that name right through the ringer. We do it all the time. You are like our professor. Well, I hope I am like a peer, right? We're all trying to learn this together, but I appreciate that. Weekly reminder that AI is what? Oh, what was that? Pin that thing again. Wait. If you ask yourself if you are an irregular, you are becoming one. Yeah, exactly. Weekly reminder that AI was not invented with ChatGPT. Correct. Pate Motter is actually correct. So Pate Motter, PhD, works for Google. Google invented this thing called the transformer, which the T in GPT is transformer. Generative pre-trained transformer. Invented by Google, exploited by OpenAI. They were the first ones to do kind of this consumer app, ChatGPT, that didn't require you to have a mathematics degree to figure out how to use it. All right, I have 12 dachshund licking peanut butter off the iPad screen as we speak. That is perfect. I didn't even think about exploiting pets. Yeah, a little smear of peanut butter, get the dogs licking. Oh, that's good. That's solid. I like it. All right, good. That was that. 50,000. Woo! We did it. Okay. Does Pate get paid for those weekly reminders? Pate. Yes, Pate's on the AI Learning Lab payroll. Listen, Pate. I need someone, whenever I say anything positive, I want you to find a way to counteract that. It's not magic. It's not magic. Stop saying magic. Let me tell you, when O1 Preview came out, and I said that that O1 Preview was thinking, Pate lost his fucking mind. He goes, it's not thinking. It was fantastic. Because it's not thinking. It's just doing chain of thought prompting. But it looks like it's thinking. And they actually say it's thinking. So if it says it on the thing, then it's thinking, right? I saw it on the internet. It must be true. All right, launch your digital business. If you are on the Salon.ai, you are. There's a community for it. Oh, yeah, that's right. So if you go to the Salon.ai, there's kind of a 7-step kind of welcome process. Step 2 is introduce yourself, so do that. And then there's right below those 7 steps, excuse me, are a bunch of tools. And then if you scroll all the way toward the bottom, there's a section called Community Clubs. And there's a community club called AILL Irregulars. That's us. So if you want to hang out here and you want to hang out with the irregulars and jam and make images and make jokes and make fun of my hair, that's what that's for. We got our own club for doing just that. And so yeah, you will definitely then be an irregular. Launch your business. Kyle, you've been so helpful, fun, and inspiring. Awesome. Thank you. That's the whole idea is, listen, this stuff's intense and it shouldn't. Here's the thing. There's two ways to approach this AI shit. One is from a place of fear, and one is from a place of optimism. Or curiosity, maybe even better. Because optimism says that you believe in it. Curiosity and fear. The only thing, my only goal is, I want people to be curious about it enough to try it. To play with AI long enough that you have your first Kevin McAllister moment. That moment. Like Joe Gaml today. Literally like that. And Mark says, Joe, your mouth's open. Because it'll change everything. It will. So, anyway. Thank you. Finally signed up for the AI Salon. Awesome, Judy. Welcome. And do me a favor. If you're an irregular, if you're in the Salon already, I've been pushing people to sign up more. And we have this new streamlined onboarding process. Please go into the Introduce Yourself section if you're a veteran here, if you're an irregular, and welcome people. Welcome the new people that are signing up. Engage with them. That would be great. Okay? All right, I bet we could make a Pate drinking game of some kind. Oh, we could do Pate bingo. We could do that's so good. It's not magic. It's not magic should be the center of it. That's really good. It's not magic. There's other companies other than OpenAI. Kyle, I'm level 33 now. Digital gods. It was really hard not to tell everyone I can now that I'm at this level. So Lord Digital Gods now understands. Thank you very much for that, by the way. The pinnacle is level 35, although someone the other day hit level 33. Someone the other day hit level 35, so I don't know what happens there. But thank you very much for your support, Lord Digital Gods. It means a hell of a lot, I got to tell you. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here. Follow my channel. Tell people about it. If you want to support me directly, you can subscribe to the lives. Or you can buy, there's a video series in the corner there called Underhyped, because I actually believe AI is underhyped, not overhyped. But we don't have our Blantons. I know, I didn't have Blantons tonight. Oh, buffering. This is a great live. Wait, what was that? I just lost that one. Damn it. Oh, wait, here we go. Winston, this is a great live. I appreciate Pate. Do not turn a helpful resource into a great drinking game disc. No, Pate's amazing. I love Pate. And actually, quite frankly, I think Pate's counter and insistence on accuracy is actually really important. So, no, I appreciate Pate a lot. OpenAI going private. Well, I don't know if they're going private. I think they're absolutely going to split. They're going to split the nonprofit off, and they're not going to have the for-profit entity under the control of the nonprofit anymore. And apparently Sam Altman's going to get like 7% equity, which is about $10.5 billion. So, not much. Pate the grumpy superhero. Exactly. Have a great weekend. Okay, so the last thing we do here is mathemagical. Exactly. The last thing we do here is a little romper room magic mirror. So who do I see here tonight? Cosmic Lover, Marina She Loved Tech, or She Recalled Tech. Brandon in the house, Dr. J in the house, Joe Van for tax incentives. No, I think they just want to pursue commercial. Here's the thing. If they want to pursue AGI. They need to do things like manufacture chips, build power plants, interact with the government. Like, they just need to be at a completely different level than they can do as a nonprofit. So we'll probably get to 60,000 maybe. All right, who's here? Deal of the day, great to see you. What's up, Talk? Dylan, later, good to see you. Ricky Ticky Fabby, Silver Fox, great to see you. Kakif, Papa JJ, Source Camp, great to see you. Tobias, thank you as always. Side Hustle Mimi. Joey in the house. I am Weaver. Weaver, great date night. Yeah, good, awesome. I hope you guys had fun tonight. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I think we have some new irregulars in Texas. I like it. I dig it. 2 Block Tom in the house. Who else we got? Melio's wife. Deal of the day. Where's that pink bow? Oh, yeah, we gotta... If it's date night, we gotta close it out right. Thank you, Cosmic Lover. Thank you, Side Hustle Mimi. Beautiful. Thank you so much. Who else is in here? Steve-O from Down Under. Tobias. Wolfman Clint. Mr. IT. Forever Hooked. Lincoln Street. Man, there's a bunch of people in here tonight. Frumple. Christopher Ramsey. First-time caller, long-time listener. Very nice. Etienne H. Down in the Mud. Dang. Check out Irregulars. Yes, check out Irregulars. Thank you, Winston. I love that one. The Dangly Lights. Dana K, great to see you. Pate Motter. The Reluctant Superhero. Side Hustle Mimi. Teton Skier. Homework assignment. The homework assignment is take a thing that you want to create for work or for a project, like a single discrete thing, and execute it in 3 different AI tools. So like tonight we did Notebook LM, Claude, and OpenAI's O1 preview. And then not only execute the thing you're trying to create, but use each tool to go a little bit deeper and create something new beyond that. All right, that's it. Joxer the Mighty, great to see you. Winston, thank you as always. I think I got everyone. Auntie Kyle. Do I look pretty? You have nice hair. People scrolling TikTok going, what happened to Rosie O'Donnell? All right, everybody. I'm going to get on out of here. I hope you had fun tonight. That was good. Yeah, just keep thinking about this stuff. And if you don't do the homework, it doesn't fucking matter. Just play. Just play. All right? Go play with the new voice. If you haven't got the new voice, it is worth you playing with it. That might be one of the things you use to execute your... Oh, this might be good. A bonus to the homework is do the thing that you need to do using the new voice while you're driving. I'm probably going to cause car accidents. But what's cool about that is you can just talk to it in your car, and it'll take all the notes. And when you get home, you can log into that chat and see everything it created. That might be a fun thing to do. All right? Peace out, everybody. We hit 60,000. Awesome. You guys are amazing. All right? Peace out, everybody. We hit 60,000. Awesome. You guys are amazing. Okay, you can put the kids to bed now. Friday night, date night. Hope you had fun tonight. Thanks. Bye.